Morning, everybody. Screeners and meaners, and there's another edition to Check It If Collected, CiiC, and it's finally time to combine Transformation Havoc. That's right, to bake these guts and bring them all together. So, we have Powertrain, we have Disorder, we have Carnage, we have Revolt, and Overturn. Almost forgot that there. Sorry. And I have an addition to make to all of these nice vehicles, which I know this is not part of the set, but I'm going to put it in here anyway. We're going to call him Platjack. That's right. Bear with me, people. You will see what it's about, and this is why I've been waiting for it so long. So we'll just take a little close-up look, and everybody know who this is. Please don't say who it is right now. I'm just going to be using it because they do repaints and codes of all the time. But you have to see what this see what his function is going to be. And again, his name is Platjack. So please stick through to the end so you can see the whole thing in together. All right. Yes. One last time, we look at the vehicles and stuff before we get into the transformation mode of transforming and combining them to Havoc. That's right. Look at them stuff. That's right. Look at them all together. See, the weapon just falls out there. And for those who are out there and stuff, you've probably already seen this and stuff, but the parts do tend to get loose on some things, as you can already see. But we're just taking a little close-up look at these right quick. Just to give a little bit of extension onto the video, because I don't think it's going to be that long. At least I hope it's not going to be that long. And yeah, that's it. And I'm not going to pick up Powertrain back there because he is extremely big and hefty, but he is nonetheless the sturdiest, taking him out of the box. So with that being said, screeners and meaners, we'll put him in here right quick off to the side. We'll just put him up here. Screeners and meaners, let's go ahead and check out and see what we can do by combining this thing. Meaners, here is Havoc, Transformation Havoc all together. And I'm just going to put the sword in there on one side because he is very hard to see, or very hard to stand. And also the blaster and also the sword throws everything off, but the sword does fit well with him in his size. And there he is on the glowing red eyes there. It's pretty neat and stuff. And actually, to give you a very good clear look at it. There you go. So that is how he looks, and that works with him. Meant to soar, aka Havoc. Yes. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get into the articulations of this thing. And I'm sorry I'm showing a big part. Really can't stand up because I needed to stay the size that is, because it's extremely difficult. My other stand kind of broken. I had to fix that, so we're gonna just go into that as far as we can. So looking up as is, if you're looking up at the bot himself, or if he's on the ground, you can look at the articulation. We're going to start with the weapons, and they do have the ports on them, so they'll fit directly in his hand. And took the other one out, and that's it. And you've seen the other videos. I've had ran into some screen difficulties with this, so that's it. As you can see, where he's leaning and stuff and all this. So he's hefty, really hefty, and hard to stand. So yeah. So all right, you do get a lot of really twist in the ankle per se. So that's good. You do have some bend in the knee, as per you can see there. Bring that back down. You have a 360 degree all spin around with his waist, as per you moving compartments around, and you do have movable parts, and you have some things very hard to stand there. You have all individual moving fingers all the way right down to the fingertips, which is cool. You have the open hand here. You have the blaster that comes down, which I thought was a nice touch. It's pretty cool and stuff. You have some bend in the arm, but there are some extremely stiff joints, so if you have some tool oils, you might want to take heave into that. Let's see, you come up. You do have a 360 degree all the way turn around, but again, the joints are very stiff. And what I don't too much care about this figure, I must say, is that it's stiff in places that it really shouldn't. It should be. It's loose in some other places and stiff in some other places that it really needs to be. Like you really need to change around. So it's a really soft ratchet, nothing really big or huge or whatever deal may be. And just let you know the hands do turn around all the way 360 degree and stuff, but it is stiff, and over time that will wear. You have his head, which is we'll get in close here. So we're going to just move this around per se, which is a full 60 degree. He can look all the way up. He can look all the way down. His head even comes all the way over. He can look all the way down. And it is complete 360 degree. As you can see, we're going to go ahead and cut this off. You got a little button on the side which is just nicely integrated into the scope there. So you really can't see things, but you turn it on and off. And you have the head that comes, it's a spike that comes off and down. And I wish they would have put some more silver in there. I could probably go through it on a Sharpie, but that's it. You got the blashes that come up and over the shoulder, over here. But they stay there now, which is surprising because it was coming up all before, but that's all good and dandy. That is all good and dandy. So yeah, and he can do kicks as per you holding him up or whatever. And I'm not sure how this is going to work with stop motion because it seems like this will be extremely difficult. So just to show you, has his leg go all the way forward, all the way back. It is hard and stiff ratchets, and there's some pieces that will start to come apart. And screeners and meters, you got it in hand, just kind of, I guess explore with this as much as possible because it is extremely difficult. It is extremely difficult in a lot of cases. Some parts feel like they may break off, some whatever. I understand it's a shelf item, and I wish it was a little bit more durable, but that's besides the point. Anyways, but I must say I do have my own addition to that. Bam! I call him Blackjack. I even changed his face. And I'm going to do a separate review of this and everything, and this is my own little mock. And anybody that knows who it is, you know who this is right now. I'm going to go down right there. That is, it's right, none other than Jazz. And they do remocks and recodes all the time. I wasn't finished with it, but I definitely want to see what I can do with adding him in there because, it has hints being, Blackjack. I call this Platjack as in platinum. Go me. Anyways, so what you're going to do to transform him, and which is I'm going to be doing, and which I hope no one copies me, or maybe they will, but me putting this online is my fault, my own undoing, so that's whatever. Let's put these apart, turn these upside down as if they were to hover. If they're to expose certain parts. You can see there. And I did change this head scope. Again, that's going to be a separate review what I see with that, and then we'll put this all together with that one of these days, and we'll just put that there. And leave this space open here, and these are going to be on the bottom. And I love finding out how Transformers have hidden transformations, which is just extremely fun to me, but it's whatever. But I've done little things and stuff. I wasn't finished with this. I just wanted to get this done because it's whatever. So I'm going to pick this up here. You're going to leave this piece up here, and then you are going to take these and make sure they are pointed to the bottom, and it should go on there pretty well, to be honest with you. All right, you're going to take that and pick these up or leave them down, however you want to do it. And that's it, and that's how it's gonna look. Now I did this because I saw some pieces in the back of Havoc, and I wasn't too confident in how it was looking. And what it is his backpack. Although I love backpacks, I love that one. That one is probably my favorite. I probably do some things with it had it been more sturdy, but what I've been doing with it, which I guess I can go ahead and bring this down just a little bit, try to get this to work, minus all this excess stuff. Okay, that works. Good. Minus all the excess stuff. Is that gonna fall? Is that gonna stay? I hope that stays right there. Okay. And what I did was this backpack part comes off, and this is the back of the trailer for those who knows. And you can see his face in there. You can see Powertrain's face. It's right there. So with these blasters being the way they are, and I wanted them to stay up a little bit more sturdy, so to speak, I took my little mock flapjack here, which I'm still working on it, platjack, and I just used this piece to come on like this. And what happens is this kind of slides right there upon the top, per se, and it kind of hangs there, like in the fate hanging in the balance. And there's some parts, some really good parts in here that I can actually use this to work along with this. Let me see, was that working, or is it this way? No, it's this, definitely this way. And just has something to kind of go in there. So just because I remember in the day the team had 6, and I just went ahead and did that to the back just to have that excess no good for nothing thing, just to have him have this, because him to have, all 6, and again, it looks awkward, but I'm a backpack fan, and I did that in hindsight because I wanted him to just basically just be the combiner, to be able to compete with none other than drum roll P's. If he stays together, he's off to the side. Okay, screeners and meaners, here they are together. That's right. Throttle bots really don't have a name to each other, but for quite some time I've been looking for them to combine together, and I do think they look good together. Although Havoc has a little bit more detail, I like the variation in colors that Toy World is doing with their combiner over here, with all throttle bots combined together. And to me, I've always thought they would be a great battle together, or against each other, would be the throttle bots versus Stunticons. That's just pretty much about it, and I like the way that it turned out. I wouldn't mind this Stunticon's Venusaur be a little bit bigger, but it is what it is. The throttle bots, that girth comes from wide load, so that's pretty much about it. So with that being said, screeners and meaners, let's go ahead and just hop into the pros and cons. And I know that it is TFM Havoc's show, and we're just gonna look up at them. We're gonna look up at them like they're tall, super tall and stuff, or whatever the deal may be, just because they're such a pain to actually go ahead and try to get standing. So I'm just gonna hop into this. The pros about Venusaur, because Havoc, is that it is absolutely phenomenal. It looks absolutely phenomenal, and pretty much that's where it stops. That is where it stops. And I'm sorry, and I don't mean to be extra crucial. I don't mean to be a certain way or to say something. And so going into this, I'm going to say this: the pros and cons is it is an absolutely amazing figure. I mean, it is. The combination moves onto the fingers and stuff that came around and stuff, whatever it may be. The feet, not so much. It's an issue, but again, we'll say it for the cons. But other than that, it's absolutely gorgeous figure. Pretty cool weapon combination, as you can see right there, amongst all the other stuff with Soundwave and Blaster. But honestly, I'm going to say that's where it stops. I'm sorry, and it's the truth. I would love to tell you guys that I could say things better about this figure, but even the upgrades that they send, you still needed to do a little modifications to it. But it severely stresses me on that point, and I'm probably going to point is that I'm going to be using this a lot to be doing stop motions back and forth, but that's just me. But that's what I'm that's what I'm into and stuff, and I'm looking at it in perspective. And I'm not gonna lie to you, I probably would have liked it better if they would have had a combination, an oversized oversized Combiner Wars. And I probably would have liked that better versus to Toy World's throttle bots. But since this is what I have, I thought it was cool. I thought it was an amazing looking figure. IWD figures from the comic book, so is kind of rare and stuff just to have that standpoint. I know a lot of third parties is actually pouncing on it, which is pretty cool. But honestly, at the same time, I must say this figure lacks everywhere. I'm talking about joints to standing to posability, even to holding the weapons, even the weapons standing together. A lot of loose joints, a lot of loose pieces, and I wish I could say a lot of other things better about it. And it is a combiner, basically it's just a bunch of toys stacked upon each other. But I'm sorry, I cannot give it the props that I would like to. I mean, and it's severely lacks to that thereof. But without further ado, you know you have more to view, so let's see what this thing can try to do. Okay, screeners and meaners, this was Transformation Havoc finally combined together. I know this is probably the first out of the list that comes down, but I'll depend on how range of playlists. It'll probably be the last. Get it? Anyways, yes, screeners and meaners, I appreciate it, guys, so much. Hopefully I've done the shout outs by now. Excuse me, if you've already seen them about your name. If you have not seen your name up there for the shout outs, you'll have to wait for next time. Hope you guys like what I did with it. Hope you guys did enjoy that stop motion there. Don't know if I said it or not. Just to toss it in here, this is Blackjack, which is not really black, and that's why I came up with Platjack. I'm sorry, that was absolutely random. But anyway, screeners and meaners, do what you do as long as you do it well. Transformation Havoc is finally done, and I'm out. Later.